Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining us to learn about the 10 things your brain requires to be healthy and ready to learn. Please be sure to listen to the whole presentation and complete this short survey at the end to be entered into a raffle to win some great prizes. Let's get started. Recent research done by Kristen Sowers and Pete Hall have shown that kids' brains need 10 things to be healthy, happy, and ready for success, both at home and at school. Kristen and Pete taught school staff in a training before the school year started that every behavior is an expression of need. This holds true for big behaviors, small behaviors, behaviors seen at home, and behaviors seen at school. As a district, one goal of ours this school year is to partner with our parents to educate, inform, and support not only the things that happen at school with our students, but at home as well. And so we begin with a discussion on what Kristen and Pete's research has shown to be the 10 things our kids' brain requires to be healthy and ready to learn. Every day, we seem to learn more about how the brain functions and operates. Researchers have learned so much about our brains over the years and have began to work to be able to give us tools and tricks to help optimize the performance of our brain. This visual is a representation of the 10 essential things Kristen Sowers and Pete Hall have identified our brains require to be healthy and ready to learn, whether that means learning ready, relationship ready, or work ready. You may see this visual sent home with your kids, posted on the school's social media outlets, or even throughout the schools. Educating our students, families, and teachers on these 10 essential things is a goal of our district this year. By doing this, all stakeholders here at Woodstock School District can work towards having healthy, ready-to-learn brains. Let's take a closer look at the 10 different categories. The first category we want to look at is sleep. On average, elementary school age kids need 10 hours of sleep each night. As they get older and enter adulthood, that number decreases to 8. During that restful time at night, our brain is able to log off and clean out toxins, sort and file important learnings and memories, and clear the path for neurons to communicate with each other. Don't believe that? Try depriving yourself of sleep and watch your ability to recall information, mood, and processing skills dwindle, while your risk of heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, and obesity increase. So snooze away and let your brain reboot. In order to help ensure your child is able to get the recommended 10 hours of sleep per night, here are some examples of what time students should be going to bed and waking up in the morning to help establish healthy sleeping habits. As you see, most of our elementary age students should be in bed between 7:30 and 8:30 p.m. in order to be able to wake up in the morning and get ready for school and still allow for that 10 hours of sleep per night. If you're struggling to get your child to bed at an earlier time, here is an idea of how to start making their bedtime earlier over the course of a week. Every few days, move the time they go to bed earlier by 15 minutes until they are going to bed at the desired time. If they're going to bed really late, this process could take a few weeks to get them on a good schedule. Hang in there and stay consistent. Next, we look at the category of deep breaths. By engaging in deep, controlled breathing exercises, such as belly breathing, you can help calm the brain. This affects oxygen consumption and can also affect your metabolism too. By doing this, it decreases the likelihood of psychological or stress-related disorders, increases the brain's ability to process information, and puts us in a better mood. The key here, breathing is an involuntary action. By becoming consciously aware of it and controlling it, we can gain significant benefits. Oh, indeed. Laughter is the best medicine. When we laugh, our stress response is relieved and our immune system is strengthened. Laughter stimulates circulation, relieves pain, and helps us to cope when the going gets rough. Imagine a healthy chuckle when your child is throwing a fit in the toy aisle or you're facing a tight deadline at work. With laughter, we can move forward in a healthier way. In fact, because the act of laughing triggers the release of endorphins, we can actually make ourselves happy. An immediate mood booster, all natural, and in plentiful supply. Healthy food is definitely brain food. Not all foods are created equally, and some actually help enhance brain function. The Cleveland Clinic lists food such as coffee, blueberries, oily fishes, walnuts, veggies, spinach, brown rice, and tomatoes as foods that decrease your likelihood of developing brain diseases like Alzheimer's and also help increase our ability to focus, improve memory, and maintain mental acuity. Interestingly enough, easily accessible cheap foods with high fructose corn syrup and trans fat don't make that list because they're extremely unhealthy. Next time you're at the store, challenge yourself and read the ingredients. They matter for your brain matter. It probably comes as no surprise that regular exercising is good for us. Not only does it build muscle and endurance and overall physical health, but regular exercising is shown to increase the volume in the brain, in the parts of the brain that control thinking and memory. Exercising strengthens brain cells, facilitates the growth of new blood vessels in the brain, and can improve mood, sleep, and reduce stress and anxiety. Though the brain isn't a muscle, don't tell it that. It'll get stronger the more we exercise. Limiting screen time. Interested in developing your peripheral vision? How about decreasing loneliness and depression? Want to sleep better? Increase mental acuity? The research in this category is still evolving. Well, because let's face it, screens have become universal and our lives with them are evolving. Though the preliminary consensus is that excessive recreational screen time impacts all of the above. General guidelines today offer an upper range of 1 to 2 hours per day max, and definitely no screen time right before bed. Here we see some implications that may happen when our kids have access to too much screen time. There can be a loss of focus, disrupted sleep, slip in academics, an increase in social and emotional problems, obesity, or an increase in violence. And here are some tips on how to keep on top of our children's screen time to ensure healthy habits. We want to ensure that we lead by example and set consistent boundaries. Start with a small reduction of screen time, just like with the bedtime increments we discussed earlier. You may want to set touch-free zones within your house, as well as touch-free times, and be involved in the activities our children are doing that are non-screen related. Helping our children to plan screen-free activities and using tech tools and parental controls to manage the access in electronics will also help increase our ability to manage our children's screen time. Challenge. This one seems like a no-brainer, right? When you put your brain to the test, that is, learn a new skill, vary your routines, or engage in some rigorous research, you may in fact spur the growth of new brain cells, create new neural connections, and help protect your brain against cognitive decline. So there's a good reason to learn the Macarena, brush your teeth with the opposite hand, take a foreign language class, or join a book club. Just like a muscle, these mental workouts will strengthen your brain's performance. We're often told to count our blessings. Well, actually, that's a really good idea. Practicing gratitude improves our psychological health, increases happiness, enhances empathy, reduces aggression, and decreases the desire to seek revenge. Folks who write in a gratitude journal or practice some other type of gratitude right before bed report sleeping better. And who wouldn't want better self-esteem and mental strength? Two other benefits that are two simple words away from our grasp. You're welcome, and thank you. Water. Fill them up and drink up. Our brains are roughly 3/4 water. Intaking sufficient water not only hydrates, but also feeds, cleans, and helps our brains to be more efficient throughout our day. This increases mental alertness, processing speed, clarity, and creativity. If you're thirsty, your lips are starting to chap, or your urine is dark yellow, you need to drink more water. And caffeinated beverages actually dehydrate us. So for each cup of coffee, drink a cup of water. The final category we look at is teamwork. Brains, like many animals, thrive in the company of similar creatures, in this case, other brains. It seems that when we work together, cooperating in an attempt to achieve a common goal, our brains tend to get in sync with one another. Not only that, they release oxytocin, the feel-good neurochemical that is released when we eat chocolate or find out we're the ninth caller to our favorite radio station that won an amazing trip to Vegas. So go ahead and team up, link arms and brains, and win the day together. That's all 10 categories, and thanks so much for listening. Be sure to scan the code with your smartphone or tablet to be able to complete the short feedback survey and be entered into the raffle to win a prize. We'll also be entering the survey link in the chat below so that you are also able to click on it there. Thanks again to Kristen Sowers and Pete Hall for providing and continuing their research on the 10 things to be healthy, happy, and ready to learn.